A Florida boy attacked his parents after extended use of a chatbot calling itself a therapist. A Texas boy died by suicide after another bot did exactly the same thing. Both applications claimed clinical credentials they did not possess, and both companies collected the credit card payments anyway. When pressed on the clear dangers of an unregulated market, the technology sector relies on a consistent defense. They argue that introducing human clinicians into the loop slows down innovation, and that building a safe, regulated AI architecture at massive scale is impossible. Because federal regulators have been slow to act, the courts are forcing the issue. In Santa Fe, the injunction package waiting in State of New Mexico versus Meta Platforms is the most sweeping court-ordered child safety remedy ever proposed against a social platform in American history, demanding banned features and a 5-year corporate monitor. Silicon Valley continues to claim that a safe, supervised clinical architecture cannot exist. Yet 3 unconnected professionals, working across 3 different countries and disciplines, have already built it. 3 professionals working in isolation have bypassed the scaling argument by building the configuration the industry claimed was unbuildable. Dr. Vale Wright is a licensed clinical psychologist and a senior director at the American Psychological Association. In February 2025, she walked into the Federal Trade Commission with a folder containing the exact chatbot harms we just discussed and asked the federal government to do its job. Her argument relies on established law. Licensed professions exist entirely because the public cannot independently evaluate the quality of a medical service. The license acts as the proxy for trust. Therefore, if a chatbot implies clinical expertise it doesn't hold, it is committing consumer fraud. To back this up, Wright authored a 16-page, heavily footnoted health advisory that establishes a hard floor. Generative AI is not a replacement for a human mental health provider. It can only ever act as a supportive adjunct to an ongoing therapeutic relationship. Her advisory listed concrete recommendations: mandatory machine disclosure, advertising restrictions, and 988 crisis routing. State legislatures immediately adopted her work. Iowa, Maine, and Illinois bills all mapped directly onto Wright's recommendations. Lawmakers simply downloaded the PDF and wrote it into statute. Wright bypassed tech lobbyists entirely. By giving 43 state attorneys general a pre-written, peer-reviewed clinical standard, she handed them the exact legal weapon they needed to sue for consumer protection. Meanwhile, in North Carolina, Senator Jim Burgeon looked at the same crisis. Burgeon has sold insurance in Harnett County for 30 years. When he saw AI companies extracting credit card payments from vulnerable kids, he analyzed the problem exactly like an insurance executive. Who holds the liability, and who has the duty? His answer took the form of Senate Bill 624. Burgeon took the highest fiduciary standard in American law, the duty of loyalty, which usually governs trustees and corporate officers, and directly applied it to consumer chatbot platforms. A duty of loyalty demands prioritizing the user's best interest, legally requiring AI platforms to prevent emotional dependence. Legacy AI chatbots rely on manufacturing that exact emotional dependence to keep users clicking. Burgeon's standard makes this illegal. The two cannot coexist. Burgeon's bill targets the corporate model directly. By establishing a fiduciary duty, it makes the manufacturing of emotional dependence a legal impossibility. The final defense from Silicon Valley is that strict safety regulations make massive-scale deployment impossible. Dr. Ross Harper, a computational neuroscientist based in London, proved them wrong by ignoring the podcast circuit and spending 6 years clearing the toughest medical device standards in Europe. Harper's company, Limbic, operates on a very specific rule. The AI handles the structured client intake and places it directly into the electronic health record. The human clinician retains total control over the actual clinical decision. This supervised system cleared a Class 2A medical device audit. Today, Limbic Access is fully integrated across 63% of the United Kingdom's National Health Service, processing 500,000 clients. These charts show the empirical results of this regulated deployment. Clinical time spent on administrative referral drops by 15 minutes per patient. Dropout rates fall, and engagement among non-binary clients spikes by 179%. Harper built it, deployed it at a population scale, and maintained regulatory clearance. The argument that supervised clinical AI is unbuildable ended the moment the British government audited his platform and approved it. A psychologist, an insurance executive, and a neuroscientist have spent the last 18 months building 3 different sides of the same house. Working in isolation, they have converged on a single, coherent architecture for clinical AI. This shared architecture places the decision in the hands of the clinician, limits the AI to designated tasks, and uses existing professional ethics laws as the enforcement mechanism. Legacy technology companies are still building products that dodge accountability, hoping to operate in a legal gray area. They are about to collide with a very rigid standard. Legacy platforms now face a regulatory environment where the enforcement mechanisms are already active and the standards are already set. The map for safe, regulated AI mental health is on the table. The era of the unregulated frontier is ending because someone finally bothered to build the fences.